Hello and welcome everyone. Today we will be looking at the stock chart of CDNS, that is Cadence Design Systems. Um, I like this stock. I am in this stock. I've done very well with this stock. I've had other people do well with this stock that I've recommended to. Um, I think we're in for a treat today. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you basically what I like about this, what I don't like about this. Hopefully we get up to today's date. So hopefully we get that far. I picked an arbitrary spot to start, and it looks like it's going to be um, starting from the left side of the chart is the first of 2019, and the end of the chart is 7/25/19. So we're going to start in 2019. Hopefully we get to the today's chart. If not, we will pick up where we leave off. But let's get started. So right off the bat, what do we see here? So looking from the left to the right, the price is at 46 to the left, and it's all the way up to 76 to the right. So it has seen a massive, a nice run here back in 2019. That would have been a good stock to own at this point. So it's definitely in an uptrend. You know, it saw a little bit of diversion here. It dipped down slightly, but that was no deterrent whatsoever. The low, it hit 61, and it just climbed way back up to 76. So you'll notice we see some green volume throughout here. We see a little red volume kind of where it started to dip a little bit, but that was pretty insignificant. Obviously, the green just came right back in, buyers, and took this thing over. So we will pick up where it is has left off, and it's continuing, most likely going to continue upward, but I think you'll see some of these small red bars come into play here. It could start to reverse if we see volume dry up, which, you know, you start to see these shorter volume. It could definitely indicate a reversal in trend, but let's see where it goes. So it could start to get exhausted here. And a couple red bars down. Yep. So it's dropping a little bit. Let's see if it finds support here. Let's see if it builds a range from here. So what I'd like to see is it starts to maybe find a little bit of support, maybe just consolidate a little bit, but it could also really give back a lot of this gain. So if you didn't take profit at some point, I would have had some stop losses in here if I was in this, and most likely took a little bit of a profit. But I'd also be ready to possibly jump back in if this thing reverses quickly. So we'll see where it goes. Yeah, it could head right back up. It could consolidate sideways. It could head lower. And it looks like it is going to head a little bit lower. It looks like the sellers are coming in. Stochastics drop to the floor there. Volume is decreasing, declining. So, but we're on a consolidated trend here. A red bar below these previous red bars. That's a signal that you know, it most likely wants to go lower at this point in time. But let's continue onward. And it's starting to consolidate a little bit. It may be forming a base here, a channel, for something that we can work with. So let's continue on. And nope, it's breaking below these previous support or lack thereof. So yeah, it's now at reverting back to 65. So we got a lot of red bars in here. We started to see some consolidation upwards, downwards. Try to find a channel somewhere here. Not a lot of volume though. A lot more red than we have buyers. So I would assume this will continue downward until we start to see some buyers come back into this. And let's see where it goes. So it's, you know, you see this down, up, slightly, down, up, slightly, down, up, slightly, most likely. Yeah, it's just, so you can see it's kind of following a trend channel here down this direction. So you're seeing new lower lows, you're seeing lower highs at this juncture, and this stochastic here, that's a bad sign. That's kind of like a, well, it kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern at this point. That's not the best sign. So definitely not a buyer here. I wouldn't be in this stock at this point. If it starts to find a base, if it has support at that range, I would be definitely consider a position in this. So you notice there's a few more green bars coming in here. Anything to get excited about? If they followed with some volume, this is kind of a spike in volume a little bit, but so is this red volume over here. Let's see if some buyers can start to kind of change the direction of this. Let's notice also the trajectory. Is it going to start getting rounder? More of a rounding base, or is it going to continue getting rounder? It could, or it could just continue to make newer lows here. So let's yeah, just downward trend, really not able to find a whole lot of buyers at this point. But what do we have here? Okay, so green bar, red, green, green. So right here, it broke above this midsection of the Keltner. That's not really much to concern yourself with. The stochastic broke up. I don't like that there's not a whole lot of volume here at this point. Could this be the turning point to where it breaks back up to maybe this 70 range? Yeah, you could start to see a channel in this area. Will it reach back up to this level? I doubt it from here, but it could. It's possible, So let's continue on. Would this be a buying point? With CDNS, where's our range here? So we got 76 to now we're at 63. It looks like as a bottom as of right now. If you bought in here about 66, 67 range, I don't think I would be a buyer as of yet. I would like to see more information. If I miss a move, I miss a move. It's just that's the way it goes sometimes. I'm not overly convicted right here though. I want to see some indication that this is going to continue higher. And is it going to consolidate on a different level? And a big red bar. So yeah, that's on volume. That's a lot of sellers right there, and it could continue downward. It's probably going to retest this 61 level here shortly, or it could, like we see a lot of the time, we see whenever we get a really massive bar, we see that kind of revert back usually, maybe to the midpoint, and it's just going to kind of consolidate here. What I'm not really seeing though is I'm not really seeing this consolidate, like form a tops and bottoms here. I'm noticing it's just continuous like channel here. If it breaks free from that, then I'll take note, but it's not really creating what I want to see here. And so it's at that 66 range, continuing, kind of going sideways. But what you notice here now, here is where it kind of changes that trend pattern. And when I say that, so you look, just let's take this center Keltner line for a second. So if we're following that line, the only times it's broken above that are here, here, and here. So, but what do we notice from that Keltner line? We're noticing that it's actually starting to kind of level out here. So it's kind of creating a parallel with the chart. So you're seeing a pickup in volume, although I'm not seeing a ton of dry up on the red side. You are seeing some buyers come in here. Could this be an entry point? I would wait a little bit. Let's see what we come up with here. See where it turns. But this could be a shift. If you look at the straight line here, it's kind of starting to level out, just as I mentioned with the Keltner channel. So this could the action coming up here could easily signal a buy point. And right here, low volume. Stochastic is looking pretty good. Has it hit the bottom? I would say as of right now, yes. But I would say this is probably more of a short term trend. So would I put a position on here? Yeah, you could put a position here. I would possibly do that. Depending on if I had a prior position, if I felt, if I wanted to go long the stock. It's down from its lows, which, a stock of this caliber, buying it down from its lows is a major positive. So let's see where it trends. And update, not much action. I'm gonna probably consolidate sideways. We got an update. Will it hit that 70 level? Let's see here. Just sideways. And it's wanting to go higher, and it does. Here we're seeing some volume. We're seeing some bigger volume here as well. So right now the buyers are in control of this, so they have reversed course here. You'll notice kind of the mirror pattern here. This kind of mirrors this section here. It's I can't think of what it looks like at the moment, but definitely looks like a mirror pattern of sorts. You're seeing some volume. You're seeing buyers come in. The stochastic's looking pretty good. If you didn't buy here, you could definitely buy here. I think this is going to continue higher in the short term. Let's see if it retests this area here. If it does start to consolidate up and down here and breaks this plane, I'm definitely a buyer. But I could also buy along here. I bought here most likely, and I may have added here a little bit, and we'll see where it continues. So big red down bar, light volume, not overly concerning. Double down bar, consolidating back to the mid-range here. And where's it want to go? It just kind of continues sideways, not creating a whole lot of action here, not a whole lot of profit. But you'll notice we are starting to create this channel where we've got new highs, and we've got, well, for the channel anyway, we've got a 70 range to 65 to back up to this 70. And let's see if it hits down here, if it goes above, if it reverts back. And it does revert above this previous high here. So yeah, I like these 4 bars in a row here. Light volume, but breaking above this, I like that. I feel it's gonna retest this at some point here in the future. We're at 72. It's not too far off. Let's see if we can continue. The overall market was probably strong here, and we got another update. So we're gonna be up to that 74 range here soon if we get this continuation. And reverting back down. Still, you see this kind of mirror pattern here. Let's see if it's going to mirror this. And it's starting to. So it breaks above 74. Still green volume. Stochastic's looking where it needs to be. This is pretty standard. You're going to see it do this a lot of times. Stocks will revert back to their and retest highs, previous highs. This is nothing new, nothing original. So if we did buy down here in this area, here, range here, we're doing okay right now. We're maybe up 9 points or so, and you're doing pretty good. If you added here, you're doing especially well, and unless it just reverses. So this bar, more information is necessary for this bar. It could be becoming a little bit exhausted. It's nearing that 76 range, so you may want to consider putting a stop here somewhere, especially if you have a large position, if you wanted this more as a trend versus a long play. Let's see if it reverses a little bit. And it looks like it gapped down slightly off market here. We got this little tiny bar here, and stochastic is dropping dramatically quick, drying up a little bit. It looks like it may have gotten a little exhausted. It was near that previous high. That has a lot to do with it. And let's continue. So it may just find a new upper range, and it may use this top as a new base of support. Or it could kind of use this as a base of support as well. We're starting to maybe break from that range. We'll see. But we'll continue on here and upwards. Yeah, new range here, new upward range. Will this break above this high? Would I buy? If it does, we'll see. I want to see certain things. And we'll just continue on. And it does break above 76 level. That was our previous high over here. I would have to kind of go back a little bit. This could be off to the races. It's had a decent run thus far. Oops, sorry, I went too far. So another large update here. We go to 79 and we go on high volume here. So again, I would have, this is looking good as of right now. It really is. It's looking solid, but I would definitely have a stop loss in place. You don't want to give all this profit away. So you want to make sure your risk levels are managed. And notice the slope of the stochastic. It may have just gotten exhausted slightly. So I wonder which range it's going to catch here. So if it continues higher, it does. And we've hit the 80 level. So we broke that previous high. We're doing it on volume still, which is great. But where is the exhaustion? And there it is. Yeah, we kind of saw it when we moved past, but this is pretty normal for it to kind of come back down to earth a little bit. So down bar, down bar, down bar, major gap down there, and slight volume, nothing crazy, but yeah, another down bar. So we're, if you didn't take profit, you should have. And that's why I believe in taking profit right there, because you can lose it in a heartbeat. Now this should have been known with this setup that it was going to be kind of a shorter term trend. It should have been known that. So this was not. I wouldn't call this an grade A setup. I wouldn't even really call it a grade B setup. I would call it more like a C setup. So it just it had overhead resistance it had to deal with. It had volume, but it didn't have extreme volume. It didn't really have a lot of pattern that I look for. So we'll see where this goes here. So hopefully you took profit. Yeah, it's definitely it looks like we're at the 65, 66 range here, and it's falling sharp. It looks like an up day, but it's really not. It was probably just an off-market candle or something. And okay, now this was major volume on this day here. So it closed it looks like 65, somewhere in that range. And this day, so it was an up day, but just barely. So it closed at 66 versus 65.88, but it was at one point down to 63. But apparently buyers came in at this level somewhere, 63, 64, and probably just pushed this thing up. So big volume there, up spike. You'll notice the Keltner is very low there, very light. I would most likely, if I took profit here especially, I would add here. If I did not take profit here, I wouldn't add, depending on the size of my position. But if I profited here, I want to get back in this a little bit, and I'd probably start to add right here and hope that it reverts back to at least kind of this midway point, or even retest this 79 level. And it's going the direction I was hoping. Large green bars here, but we had some major large red bars. So remember, when you have that and you have these all in succession, a lot of the time this is going to revert a little bit halfway. So that's to be expected. Just as this large bar was here to be expected to revert back to this level. And this is an indication probably where you should have bought off of that. But let's further on here. And let's see if we find a new range, though. If we get back to this lower range instead of going back to this higher range, which wasn't really much of a range. It was just it is what it is. So, and we are back down to the 60 level. So we broke below this previous support. What was our further support back over here? We have support at 61. So we're flirting with new lows here, and that's something you always want to be kind of weary on. So where are we at here? Sorry, there we go. So yeah, we're flirting with new lows. Let's see where this continues. Would you expect it to reverse? Well, we just got psyched out here. So if we bought here, we're actually, you got stopped out quick there. That was a loss, and that was a bad trade. So that's why we go over this. It did it with volume. Do I believe this will revert back up and actually make money on this? Yeah, most likely it will. It's a good stock. I have a feeling it's not going to stay down for too long. So you wouldn't have to necessarily sell here, but you do want to keep losses at a minimum. So depending on where you bought, you're not down majorly, but depending on where you bought, if you bought here, you're down 9 points or so, which is it's a big run. That's a pretty good run. But let's continue on. And another red down, big day there with volume. So you'll notice the volume on the sell side is pretty large here. You know, I would have said it was kind of a tug of war match because you had large green volume, but there's just so many sellers right here at this moment. You don't know where the bottom's going to lie here, so it's kind of at a bit of a free fall. Definitely would not be buying here. Do you try to catch this turn with this? It's got a bottom at some point. Do you want to start a position at 58, 56 range? If you're liking this stock, I think that's a good entry price. I do. I don't think this stock is going to stay in the 50s for much longer. And I don't know if it turns here. It turns back down, so you did have a better buying opportunity. You could buy at 54 here range. It's just kind of a falling knife right now, though. It doesn't really want to catch anything. And would 54 be a good entry point for this stock? Yes, it would be. It would be a good price to own this stock. But let's continue on. And we're starting to get a little congestion, a little price tightness there, and an up day, a large up day. So if you did buy into the 58 range or so, you're doing good as of right now. Are the buyers about to take over? I would assume they are actually. I think this is gonna go back up to the 70 range. I don't think it's gonna stay down here for very long. I just think there's too much. It's too good of a stock. I think it's going to be seen. This is going to be seen by the buyers, and they're going to come in, and we'll see though. So you'll notice this was kind of just riding along this lower line of the Keltner channel. It does that in a downtrend. A lot of times, this was a significant drop down. So a lot of times it will drop below that, but you'll notice the bottom line is a significant drop. So let's continue on. Another large update. So if you bought here, you're doing well. If you bought here, you're doing well. Yeah, I think this is gonna retest this area up here. Actually, yeah, I would have been a buyer at this point. Consolidate sideways. Another big green bar, light volume. Just going kind of sideways, but I like the overall. It's kind of like the bottom trend. The bottom candle is staying right along with the mid-level of the Keltner. I feel this wants to go upward. Yeah. And so if we bought here, we're doing pretty good at this point. You'd want a stop loss, of course. I like this setup a little bit better than I like the one over there. I think this may have a little more oomph to it. It doesn't have a whole lot of volume, but these major reversals off these bottoms here. So it looks like 54 is definitely the bottom at this point. You're starting to build up a larger channel here, if you will. you'll notice it's trending upward. So all the lows are trending upward, all the highs are trending upward. So I like to see that. That's a positive. So we'll see where this continues. Down bar, up bar, small days, up bar. Okay, so yeah, we were in the 70 range here. We blasted to 76 here. That's a so we got the V-shaped pattern. This is a serious V. Um, Stochastics looking good. You know, a lot of this was just, you know, push pull, push pull, push pull, and it found its way back up to this range here. I had a feeling this stock just is not. It's worth more than this right here. So it was too quick and it showed, and it really just reverted back very quickly. So will it retest this 80 range? It looks like it. Looks like it's going to, and we're close. Yeah, this is about as nice a V as you get. So if you bought down here or in this range, you're doing pretty good. You're probably up about 18 points or so, depending on where you bought, obviously, but you're doing pretty good. You'll notice this major open area with the Keltner channel, that was just a huge gap up day here, or a nice gap up day. You see another gap up day here, another gap day here, and then you see some green volume with this bar and that bar. That's kind of a down day, but it was a small down day. So let's just continue to see where this goes. I would definitely have a stop loss set here. Um, Again, it's going to retest this level, this 80 level. We'll see where it goes. It could offer some resistance, and it looks like it may. Um, but our channel is pretty wide at this point. I mean, look at this. You got 80 as the high, and you got 54 as the low, and it's happening super quick. So there's really no middle ground to work here. This would be like a trender's dream, honestly. I love to see reverses like this, and let's see if it bounces off this 80, if it breaks new highs. And resistance, tug of wars, back and forth. Now maybe we create a channel. Let's see. Oh, it's going upwards. So most likely you did not sell out. Your stop loss was not sold out on that. It should have been high enough to where it did not. And let's see, it hit a 76 range. Yeah, you should not have had a stop there. So this is looking broke above the high. It's looking solid. So you could add here. Not on high volume, but you've got multiple days of volume. You've got four green in a row. I think the momentum is on the buyer side, so I would continue in this stock, especially. I'd probably add here as well. If I'm up pretty good with this thus far, probably 25% or so or whatever. I would put more into it, but I would if I bought here though, I'd bring my stop loss a little bit tighter for this range. Uh, so I don't want to double up here, say my position, and end up losing the entirety of my profit just because I bought here. So I would keep a fairly close stop here, just in case it does start to revert. But we'll see. And it goes up. And let's see if it finds a range here. Tug of war, and it's above 90. So this stock's looking good, looking really nice here. So we bought down here, we're doing great. If we bought here, we're doing great. We're liking this. We're having fun. It's looking great, looking great. Big red bar. Reverted back down to the 80s. Check your stop losses here, wherever you bought. Tighten them up. Make sure you're not going to lose a lot of profit here, because this could turn here. It could change right back up. So we don't know yet. So and consolidate a little bit. Build back upwards. Consolidate. So you'll notice it's starting to curve a little bit, but That doesn't necessarily have to be overly concerning as of yet. It's just trucking on a little bit higher at a time. Looks like these bars are getting a little smaller. You'll notice a little bit bigger red bars, but they've been able to just kind of truck along. It's like kind of a hiker going up a hill. He's just maybe losing a little bit of steam. But look at all this. Look at all the buyers here. It's being and then the stochastic. It's moving right along. I mean, we're doing well if we bought down here. So this is what you love to see, man. This is what makes investing really fun. And let's see if it breaks the 100 range. It does. And okay, so it may have trouble turning up above that 100 range. Will we start to see more red volume? Very possible. Where are we at on the date here? We're in the 2020 710. So we got a long way to go. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think we're going to make the end of this for this video anyway. Let's look where this turns, though, real quick. Let's see if we have to take profit somewhere here. Continuing higher, continuing higher. It's going to hit that 105 range. And will it bounce from there? Where's it going to go? It's just chugging along, man. Would we have wanted to add somewhere here? You know, we bought here. We added here. Hopefully you had a full position at that point. Most likely, you know, you got a good full position. You've got good profits. Definitely tighten the stops at this point. Your stop down here needs to be updated. Your stop down here needs to be updated. You need to follow along with where it's at. You don't want to lose these profits. So let's continue higher, and it breaks the 110 range. Oh wow, here we go. Looking great, man. This is fun. And okay, where are we gonna? So you'll notice a definite change in the volume momentum there. Stochastic is still pretty high up there. It's in the 70 range, but we want to kind of keep an eye on it here. Let's see if it starts to really divert and change course. And good thing we tightened our stops though, because you know we don't want to lose all that profit. So, and is it going to form a channel up here? Is it going to form a base?